Good evening, everyone. My name is Javier Carlin. I'm a physical therapist. I'm a new grad PT career coach and the founder of the new grad PT mentors. And today I want to talk to you about the patient experience. And the reason why I'm bringing this topic up is because Jeremy from the new grad PT mentorship group actually asked an amazing question. He was curious as to what other people in this group have been doing or are doing in the clinic to really create the ultimate patient experience for our clients, for our customers and our patients throughout their visits and throughout their episode of care. So tonight, Andrew, thank you so much for jumping on. Eileen, thanks for watching. If you're watching right now, go ahead and just comment Team Live so I know that you're on live. Jakari, F. Scott, thank you so much for jumping on. Appreciate every single one of you. So the patient experience. There are so many things that go into this, so many things, and what I'm going to go over tonight, it's going to be a very simplified version of it. It's the 5 things that I do on a daily basis with each and every patient that really just allows me to provide an amazing patient experience, and the patients are leaving, feeling acknowledged, feeling heard, feeling appreciated, and more than anything, they understand what is going on, because so many of our patients, on a daily basis in different clinics, in different scenarios, they leave kind of just unsure of what the next step is. So what I want to cover today is really just bringing it back to the fundamentals, breaking it down into its most simplest form, and really just going over the 5 T's. The 5 T's that, like I said, I use on a daily basis. And now there is a lot more that we can chat about when it comes to the patient experience. But like I said, I want to break it down, simplify it, make it easy to digest and easy for you to understand and actually implement. And Matthew Brent Williams, he commented on this post. I think it was last week, and he just kind of spit some fire in there. He hit like 10 to 12 major points of little things that he does, because it's really in the details. It really is. And when you take care of those minor details, like he says in that comment, everything else takes care of itself. But with that said, there is a formula that you can follow. And if you do that with every single patient that walks in through your door, they're going to leave like ecstatic. They're going to leave so happy that they came to see you on that day. And they're definitely going to come back the next session and the next session and the next session after that, only if you continually do these 5 things that I'm going to go ahead and explain today. So, number one of the 5 T's is talk. Okay? And let me go ahead and get my marker. Just 1 second. So, number 1 is talk. Okay? So, what does that mean? What does talk mean? What are you going to talk to them about, right? Are you going to talk to them about their healing process? Are you going to talk about how they're doing, how they felt this past weekend? Are they in pain? Are you going to ask those questions? Yes, you are. But when I say talk is a part of the patient experience, it means you want to talk to them about their life. You want to talk to them about their life, what actually matters to them. Yes, physical therapy is a part of them getting back to the things that they love, but you need to talk to them. What did they do that weekend? How did they spend their weekend with their family, with their friends? If they had a concert that they went to, ask them about the concert. If they had, their kid's soccer game this past weekend or last week, ask them about that. Ask them about things that they actually care about first, so that you start to build a relationship that way, a real relationship like you have with your friends and your family. You want to really just become your patient's best friend. And when you do that, yes, they'll come for the physical therapy and to get better, but at the end of the day, more than anything, they're going to come back for you. The person that really cares about them, that asks about them, their life, not just a shoulder injury, a knee injury. No, you want to talk to them about the things that matter to them. If the things that matter to them is involved with the physical therapy that you're providing for them, with that service, if the things that matter to them is them like going back to play with their grandchildren, pick them up from the floor, talk to them about a time when they used to do that, because again, that's going to relock them back into your plan of care. And when you talk about the things that, like I said, they enjoy, they feel good about themselves. They feel like you actually listen to them. They feel like like you care about them as a person, not a body part. So that's why the first one is talk. It's super important that we just talk to our patients. Talk to our patients. Yes, we're going to get to the part where we talk to them about what is going on with them physically, but number one is ask. Ask about their life. Talk to them about what interests them. Figure out what they like, what they don't like, what their hobbies are. You have to get into their life and when you focus on that, really, like the rest of it becomes very simple, very easy. That alone makes up the patient experience. It really does. Of course, there are other aspects to it that come into play, but if you master that, your ability to talk to the patient about their life and the things that they love to do on the weekends when they're not in physical therapy. You remember, physical therapy is a very small part of their life. I think there are about 160 something hours in a week. They're only there seeing you anywhere from 1 to 3 hours a week. So a very small portion of their life. They don't want to just talk about physical therapy. They want to talk about themselves. Everyone likes to talk about themselves, including you and I. And when you allow someone to do that, and when you ask questions, people, they automatically like you more. They automatically like you more. So Andrew says, they don't care about how much you know until they know how much you care. That quote is absolutely on point. That's everything. That's exactly it. That's exactly it, Andrew. Thanks for sharing that. So number two, the second T that you must live by on a daily basis when you're taking care of your patients is touch. You want to touch your patients. And what that means, it doesn't mean you're touching them to give them soft tissue work. It's not you giving them a joint mob. Yes, those are things that we also do. But what I'm talking about, the touch that I'm talking about is a handshake, firm handshake. The touch that I'm talking about is a hug, a pat on the back. People, and now, I mean, you can go back, you can relate this to like the dating world, of course, but there's something about human touch that we like, and from someone that we like, of course. So now that you've started to build that relationship by talking to them, if you give them a pat on the back, if you give them a hug, people they're already liking you a lot more when you do that. It's something that is a necessity for human interaction, and it makes people feel better. So that's something that I do a lot. Aside from the manual therapy, aside from the joint mobs and the soft tissue work, I love to hug my patients. I absolutely love it. If you're not comfortable with it, a handshake's fine, a pat on the back is fine. Touch them. Now, when you're doing that, be aware of who you're dealing with. Everyone is very different. So you want to figure out what the person's about. After the initial eval, you kind of figure out if the person would be okay with hugging or not. Typically, after weeks and weeks and weeks of hanging around you, they're more willing to do that. I know for me, funny story, I'm from Miami, so Hispanic, half Mexican, half Cuban, born in Puerto Rico. In that culture, we hug a lot. We meet someone for the first time, we hug, kiss them on a cheek. It's completely normal for us, completely normal for us. Everyone does it in Miami. So when I moved to Tampa, things are just a little bit different. Tyler, thanks for jumping on, man. Happy to have you here. And I remember the first patient that I met when I started working here in Tampa, and I went for the hug and the kiss because, like I said, that's normal in Miami. Turns out it's not normal everywhere else in the country. So you can tell like the person's reaction. They were just like so uncomfortable. They had no idea what was going on. They still let me do it, but they were just like, oh my God, like what is this guy doing? I just met him. And for me, it was like, well, this is like what I do on a daily basis. So I kind of we started laughing about it, and I brought it to her awareness of what it's like down in Miami and how it's different from here, and we laugh about it till this day. But of course, when you're when you're doing that second T, you want to make sure that the person is comfortable with whatever it is, whatever it is, whether it's a hug, a handshake, a pat on the back, a quick little massage. Make sure that person is comfortable with it, because again, if you go back and listen to the story I just said, you don't want to go for the hug and kiss to someone that you just met that doesn't understand where you're coming from, like myself, because in like I said, in my culture, that's completely normal. So number 2 is touch. Okay, number three of the 5-step sequence is teach. Now this is the point where, yes, we do a lot of the teaching in that initial eval. The initial eval is where you do most of the teaching, correct? However, the teaching aspect of it is so important for every single follow-up visit because it generates patient buy-in. So when there's a new exercise that they're doing, when they're doing either more repetitions, more resistance, whether it's a new technique you're using on them, manual therapy wise, whatever it is, you need to let them know why you're doing it. You have to let them know why you're doing it because, again, yes, the patient experience is about generating emotional feelings and a connection from a human to a human. However, the logic still plays an important part. So you want to make sure that you're teaching every single visit. It doesn't have to be 10, 15, 20 minutes of education. Just a little tip here and there. Hey, listen, this is why you're doing this. The reason we're doing more repetitions today and less resistance is because we're working on muscular endurance. And what that means for you getting back to running, it means that for you as a triathlete or someone who runs marathons, you need to function and you need to perform at a very high level for a long period of time. With that said, what we need to focus on is your muscular endurance so that your muscles don't fatigue as quickly so that you can run for longer at a high level. And when you explain that to them, they're much more locked in. They understand why they're doing what they're doing. It's not like you're just throwing exercises at them. You're actually saying, hey, listen, there's a reason behind what we're doing and this is what it is. And when people understand, they're like, well, okay, perfect. I'm gonna kill this exercise, and they just get much more motivated to do it. Number one, they do it correctly, and they don't feel like you're, like I said, like just throwing exercises at them. They don't feel when a person understands, it makes them feel a lot better about themselves as well. So you want to always teach, and like I said, it doesn't have to be 15 to 20 minutes. It could be like a 5-second comment. Hey, or even just telling them, hey, listen, like you're doing amazing. Just make sure you hold that contraction for about 3 more seconds, and this is why. Little things like that go a very long way. Now, when it comes to teaching, there is one point, and there are several points inside a patient's plan of care. Really, treatment to treatment. In a treatment, and this is where being aware of people's facial expressions and how their energy is as they're coming into the clinic. After you've done talk and touch, some people come in talkative, way too talkative sometimes, which is amazing. And other times, if that person is always, very high energy, and one day they come in like feeling like, they're down, you can see it in their face. They maybe had a rough night, a rough weekend, something happened, outside of physical therapy. You can be aware. If you're aware, you can see and notice those nonverbal cues, correct? So when it comes to teaching, and the reason I bring that up is because when it comes to teaching, if that person comes in and you can see that they're struggling by their facial expressions, they're not having a good day, maybe they're in a lot of pain and they don't understand why, that is the time to teach even more. Teach, let them know why they're feeling that way. Ask them, hey, what did you do differently, or did you do anything differently? If they didn't, or if they did, explain to them why it is that they're feeling that way, right? If they have, more muscle soreness, explain to them, hey, listen, and you should have said this the previous session. Hey, listen, that's just a normal process that the human body goes through after performing exercises that your body isn't adapted to yet, and that's normal. Now, is it a sharp pain? That's a little bit differently. So we now explain to them why things are happening, and what I do and what we do at Renewal Rehab is we actually take the patient back into the evaluation room, have a serious conversation with them, ask them, hey, listen, what's going on? What are you feeling? And then at that point, you explain to them, hey, listen, because you're in this phase, this is actually very normal. It happens to everyone. And you kind of, once you break that down, show them what phase they're in and why they're feeling those symptoms, then explain to them, hey, listen, this is actually a very good sign. This means that we're about to progress into this phase. This means that we've actually been challenging you a little bit more. So now you're feeling, the side effects a little bit more. Whatever it is, explain it to them so that they understand it and understand that it's also normal and that it happens to everyone. And what you do at that point is bring out the iPad. So for us, we use Complete Anatomy. I wish I had it closer to me, but I don't. But we use Complete Anatomy. If you want to see that, see the app that I use, let me know, and we can chat about it later on. But I use Complete Anatomy. Basically, it has the entire human body we dive in deeper into that, say, hey, listen, you're in this phase of healing, right? We're 3 weeks in, muscle takes 4 to 6 weeks to heal. This is why you're still feeling that way. Teach them about why everything's happening, give them the reasoning behind it, and show them what it's going to look like in the future. And they feel much more comfortable because they know it's just part of the process. And that is what teaching does for your patients. Okay, so every single session, you want to make sure you talk, you touch, and you teach. Okay, those are the first 3 steps to the 5-step sequence. Number 4. If this all makes sense, just comment "makes sense" below. And if it's valuable, comment "valuable" as well. So number 4. Number 4 is tell. Tell them. And this kind of ties in really closely to what I just talked about. Patients have no idea. They have absolutely no clue as to what the rehab process looks like. They have no clue. They didn't go to school for physical therapy, right? They have no idea what is going to happen next. And that uncertainty of what is to come next really scares a lot of them. Patients and ourselves included, when we don't know what's to come next, when we're very uncertain of the future, when we have no idea what our path looks like, we get very, very uncomfortable. Very uncomfortable. So why is it any different with our patients? It's not any different at all. So when I talk about the 4th step, which is tell, it means tell them what is going to happen next. You've gone through talk, you've continued building that relationship, that friendship, that trust, that respect. Number 2, touch, make them feel good. Number 3, teach them, let them know why they're doing what they're doing. Number 4, tell. Based off what we saw today, based off how you reacted to this, based off how you felt with this, with X, Y, and Z. This is what the next session entails. This is what the future looks like. This is where we're at, and this is where we're going. Based off X, Y, and Z, we can now progress to this. Based off the reaction to the exercises that you had today, you may be fatigued a little bit earlier than normal because you were feeling tired. Fine, we're going to go ahead and kind of reassess the next time you come in, decide whether to maintain the exercise intensity or increase it slightly, right? But tell them so they know what to expect next time. And again, this is every single session. When you tell people where they're at and where they're going and what it's going to take to get there, they feel comfortable because now they have a plan. Like I said before, when we're uncertain of what the future holds, we get very uncomfortable. It's the same thing with our patients. They need to know what is going to happen the next session, what is going to happen in the next week, what is going to happen in the next 2 weeks. They have to know all that. So that's why number 4 is very, very important. And I hope that made sense. Because, like I said, if you do any one of these every single session, like you're doing a lot better than most new grad PTs out there. But if you're doing all of these, man, you're a freaking rock star. So number 5, I'm not sure if you can see number 5. I think you can. So number 5 is think. Think. So THANK. You want to thank your patients. You want to thank them for coming to physical therapy. They don't have to be there. Yes, they need it. Do people want to be in PT? No, they don't, right? Typically, they don't want to be in PT. They need it, but no one wants to be injured, number 1. No one wants to go through the rehab process. So it's in our best interest, it's in the patient's best interest as a new grad physical therapist to learn this, because this is how you create the ultimate patient experience. Now, again, like I said, there's a lot more to it, but these are the fundamentals. So thanking them. When you thank anyone, it makes them feel appreciated. We thank our patients for coming to therapy that day. They could have been doing anything else. They could have, been at Publix, which is a shopping center over here in Tampa and just in Florida in general. I'm not sure where else. They could have been, doing anything but coming to physical therapy. So you always want to make sure you thank them for showing up. Thank them for caring about their health. Thank them for, putting maximum effort. Tell them how much you appreciate them for coming in, because it shows that they care about the rehab process, that they care to make you happy. Because at the end of the day, like, if our patients are getting better, if they're coming to see us, we should be happy, and we should be 100% happy for them. And we just have to let them know, so that they know that we appreciate them and that we don't take them for granted. You never want anyone to feel like they're taking for granted, and that goes with our patients, and that goes with anyone in life, correct? So make sure you're thanking everyone. Make sure you're thanking everyone. So those are the 5 T's. Like I said, very basic, very simple. If we break it down into the bare bones, this is what you need to do on a daily basis, for every single session, for every single patient. You do these 5 things and you're golden. Now, like I said, there's a lot more that you can do pre, during, and post. And that's why I want to go ahead and give you a bonus. So the bonus T, the 6th step, okay? Sherelle, girl, I can't wait for you to come over to the clinical affiliation over here in Tampa, because we're going to have a blast. We're going to have a blast. I'm so excited to have you as a student. I'm going to teach you everything I know. And yes, thank your patients. It's so simple, and no one thinks about it. That should be another T, think. That should be the first thing, the first T, right? Think about this whole process. Think about every single patient. Think about what their needs are. Think about what they value, and just freaking love them to death, okay? Tyler, thank you so much for jumping on. If you're on this live still, comment Team Live, so I know you're on. So I'm hitting the bonus. I'm hitting the bonus step right now. And I'm gonna, again, the bonus step is massive. It's so massive. I'm just gonna go into its most simplest form. So there's a lot that goes into this, probably more than this, because this is like basic human behavior and little things that make a massive difference. This is a skill. These are skills that you need to learn. Number 1, be aware of. Number 2 is learn, and number 3 is implement and apply on a daily basis. So the bonus tip and the bonus T is tech. What is tech? Tech is technology. To create the ultimate patient experience 24/7, 7 days a week. Gabby, thank you so much for jumping on. I'm so excited to be on the Gratitude Podcast. For anyone watching right now or anyone listening to the podcast live stream, check out the Gratitude Podcast with Gabby Mace and Sarah Falbo. It's absolutely amazing. They've interviewed Doc Gen Fit, the Barbell Physio, and all these incredible people. So check out their podcast, Gratitude Podcast. It's fire, and I'm going to be on it tomorrow. So I'm so excited. Thank you very much. The 6th step, the bonus step, is technology. And like I was saying, all this is human behavior. You know, it's day-to-day things that we can work on. Great. The tech aspect of it is a skill. We're not taught this stuff in PT school. We're not taught any of this stuff in PT school. If you are, it's very, very minimal. So the reason I bring this up is because the technology allows us to create the ultimate patient experience as a new grad physical therapist, 24 hours, 7 days a week. And what I mean by that is at Renewal Rehab, at the clinic that I'm at, the one that I'm opening up at the end of January, we use a lot of tech. Now, tech can look like several different things. Jessica, thank you so much for jumping on. Erica, thanks so much for jumping on. Dallas, thanks for jumping on. I truly appreciate your time. If you're on this live right now, go ahead and comment Team Live. I'm nearing the end here, so go ahead and just make sure you watch the replay. I poured my heart into this, a lot of valuable content. I hope you enjoy it. So number 6, tech. Like I was saying, we use this all the time to connect with our patients, not only while they're there for that 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours a week when there's 160 something hours a week. We use tech to be able to communicate with our patients throughout the entire week. Whenever they need us, we're there for them. And the way we do that is through various different platforms. Platforms that I learned from my mentor. We use text messaging platforms, email marketing platforms. If you're on the email list, you're kind of like receiving these emails from me. Those are very similar things that we do with our patients, just to connect with them, just to let them know what's going on, give them a glimpse into our lives and what we're doing to better serve them. So technology is everything nowadays. What's better? I mean, how do you build a relationship? Is it by spending 1 hour a week with someone? I mean, you still build a relationship that way. It just takes a little bit longer. Or being able to connect with someone whenever you want, or even just having the option to do that. Because at the end of the day, just a patient feeling like they have 24 access to their physical therapist is massive. Like, very few new grad PTs are thinking that way. Many in school, people would tell us, our professors unfortunately would tell us, hey, listen, you should probably not, friend request your patients on Facebook. You shouldn't, follow them on Instagram. You shouldn't really get their phone numbers. You shouldn't really talk to them outside of the clinic. All this BS that's fed to us, it just doesn't make sense. If we truly want to take care of our patients, we're not just taking care of them in that 1 hour that we're there. We're taking care of them throughout the entire week. And for us, like I said, that includes email marketing systems, text messaging platforms, Facebook groups where we build communities of people that come to our clinics and just they just get so motivated by seeing everyone else's posts, seeing them get back into action, whether it's running, playing soccer. They motivate each other, they encourage each other. And the ones that are at a higher level, that are able to motivate the ones that just started PT through a Facebook community like this one, for example, they get so excited because they know what's in their future, and they don't fear them not getting to that point because they've seen other people do it as well. So that's what tech allows you to do. And like I said, this is, very basic. If you actually want to learn that sixth step, my mentor Greg Todd is having a free webinar training. It's basically how to become an entrepreneur in healthcare in 2019 at trainthept.com. So if you are interested, just let me know and I'll go ahead and I'll direct message you and I'll share the link with you. But he's going to go over, yes, the patient experience is one part of the solution, but it's tech. Tech is what's going to allow you to really just blow it out of the water. Like, no one is doing this. So if you do this, it's going to set you apart from your employer. If you have your own business, this is what's going to really just create the relationships that you really need to create with your patients so that they are a lifer. They don't go anywhere if you take care of them forever, for life. There's no reason. There's absolutely no reason for them to leave you if they know that they have you for life. If you connect with them on a weekly basis, monthly basis, yearly basis, if they know that you care about them and care about their life, then there's no reason for them to go anywhere else but back to you. And that's how you create the ultimate patient experience. Like I said, these 5 are super important when you're in the clinic one-on-one. But the way that we do it, we text message our patients at least once a week, figure out where they're at, figure out how they're doing. If they're having a bad day or they have any questions, we're able to answer those questions for them. We're able to make them feel at ease. If they're doing amazing and they just want to know, hey, I'm feeling great, should I jump into this new exercise or should I go running yet? And I tell them, hey, listen, we're not there yet. Let's go ahead and figure out, let's go ahead and do it at the under supervision first and progress you the right way so you don't re-injure yourself. But these things that people decide on sporadically, if they don't have access to you on the weekends, how are they going to ask you? They can't. So what will happen is that they'll do the thing thinking, hey, it's just worth the shot. And they hurt themselves. And now they come back in on a Monday and you're like, oh no, what'd you do? You should have asked me. How the heck were they supposed to ask you? They couldn't. So technology, especially in this day and age in 2019, is important. If you want to learn more about how to use tech and how to become an entrepreneur in healthcare, and really this stuff, whether you're a business owner or a staff PT, increases your value tenfold, because there are no new grad PTs who are thinking about any of this. A lot of us are just thinking in clinical skills, which is fine. They're so freaking important. That is fine, but it's not the only thing that we need to learn. We need to learn other skills like learning technology to better take care of our patients. And when you do that, when you demonstrate to your employer or your patients, if you're a business owner, that you can create the ultimate patient experience for them, you're going to thrive. You're going to thrive. You're going to demand your worth. Again, there's a lot more that goes into it, but that is the fundamentals of the patient experience, creating the ultimate patient experience. So if you have any questions, I'm going to go ahead and just stay on here for another 30 seconds. I hope that was very valuable. Andrew, I'm going to go ahead and send you the link to trainthept.com, where my mentor is having that free training on Saturday. It's basically, I mean, this guy, Greg Todd, is basically the reason why I am where I am today, the reason I have the skills that I have, and the reason why I'm able to basically demand my worth and make as much money as I want. Not always immediately, because it takes time, but long term for sure. So like I said, if you have any questions, just please feel free to ask them now. I have a few more minutes left. I have to get back to work. I got a few things I got to work on since we're opening up that clinic at the end of the month. I think it might be the first week of February, but just so many good things coming up, guys. 2019 is going to be a massive year. Like I said, if you are interested in joining the free training on Saturday at 12 p.m., go to trainthept.com to register. I'll be there. Sherelle's going to be there. Katrina's going to be there. F. Scott Fuel's going to be there. Let's see who else is going to be there. Jessica's going to be there. Andrew, I'm sure I'll see you there as well. Who else? Gabby, Tyler, all these winning PTs, I'm telling you. All right, Jakari, perfect. All right, well, if no one has any questions, I just want to say thank you so much for staying till the end. For those who did, you guys are amazing. As always, go ahead and message us at contact@ngptmentors.com if you just want to reach out. If you want to reach out to me personally, go ahead and do that as well. That's completely fine with me. I'm here for you guys. I'm here to provide as much value as I can for you to succeed as a new grad physical therapist. So hopefully today's live stream was valuable. Kyle, I noticed he just jumped on. I'm super excited for our power call tomorrow at 2. If you want to watch the replay, go ahead. This will definitely help you as you transition into your new roles in the near future. So again, thank you all for watching. I hope you have an amazing Tuesday night. I'll see you guys again. Actually, I might have a surprise for you on Thursday. I'll keep you posted. But everyone, thank you again. Have an amazing night. Take care. Bye.